Hi, I'm Sebastian Gomes, host of Salt and Light's book show Subject Matters, and here's my take on Canada's Catholics, Hope and Vitality in a New Era by Reginald, Bibby, and Angus Reid. This is a sociological study about what's happening in the Catholic Church in Canada today, and it's a fascinating blend of surveys, statistics, and analysis of religion in this country today. You know, it's funny, about 20 years ago at the turn of the millennium, secularists in Canada were predicting the great demise of Christianity, that religion was on its way out, and that a scientific progressive revolution was taking over that would see the end of religion as we know it in terms of its social influence. Well, they couldn't have been more wrong, says Bibby and Reid. The Catholic Church in particular is absolutely thriving. Of the 35 million Canadians in this country, 13 million of them identify as Catholics. Now, a huge factor in Catholicism's sustainability, if you will, is, you guessed it, immigration. This is an absolutely key factor. Between 2001 and 2011, for example, 39% of people who came to Canada were Muslims, Hindus, Sikhs, or Buddhists, and 44% of them were either Protestants or Catholics, which means only 17% had no religious affiliation. Now, in other words, what that means is that immigrants, who will definitely be a defining factor in Canada's future demographically, largely because our birth rate is so low, the vast majority of these folks are religious. They're believing people. So that's obviously why religion is so sustainable in this country. And that's one of the really great things about this book, is that it's based on hard numbers. Let me give you a few more. By 2050, 6 in 10 Canadians will identify with the Christian faith, most of them Catholic. 80% of Canadians today, whether they're religious or not, will not rule out the possibility of an afterlife. So that says a lot about our spiritual nature. 40% of Catholics pray at least once a week, which is very, very high considering low mass attendance on the regular. And that leads me to this question of participation, which is absolutely crucial. In 1957, more than 85% of Canadian Catholics attended weekly Mass. Now that number has plummeted, but the Catholic Church has this very unique characteristic of people not wanting to be anything else. Even though Catholics don't participate in the life of the church, nothing else is drawing them into their communities. People still identify with the Catholic Church. And that's very interesting, this holding power of Catholicism. Let me give you a very practical example. Quebec, which is historically the cradle of Catholicism in this country, today has the lowest participation rate, but 75% of Quebecers identify as Catholic. So all of this leads Reid and Bibby to conclude that there's great potential in all of this, that what Catholics are really, really looking for is good ministry more than a good church. In other words, they don't want to be told, hey, being a good Catholic means going to church on Sunday. They want to belong to a community that in their experience is relevant to their lives, meets them where they are, and provides them a solid community experience. So if the institutional Catholic Church can provide that for all of these marginalized Catholics, the Catholic Church in Canada will be thriving long into the future. So we just scratched the surface with a few of those numbers, but like I said, what makes this book so remarkable is that it's based on hard numbers. Certainly a very hopeful book in that regard. So enjoy reading Canada's Catholics, Vitality and Hope in a New Era by Reginald, Bibby, and Angus Reid.